Welcome to the Dark Beat. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Dark Beat channel. Today you are here with me, your host Beatrice, with yet another story from the Insanity series. This one might confuse you a little, but you'll figure it out. If you're ready, let's go. Warning. Some viewers might find the following content disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Rise! The judge walked into the courtroom and everyone grew silent. The prosecution began. He was sitting on the stand telling everyone what went down that day. I had my recorder on, waiting for him to begin. Damn it! The day started the worst way possible. The whole day was ruined now. He couldn't understand it. How could he make such a great mistake? It doesn't make sense. How could he forget to put his towels on the right spot? 3 precious minutes wasted away for no good reason. He walked to the shower, nagging under his breath. He couldn't shake the thought of what he could have done with those 3 minutes. It must have been because of Beatrice's constant nagging. But that couldn't have been the case. After 15 years of marriage, he learned how to listen without actually hearing what she was saying. But he was only human. These thoughts made his anger even worse. In those 3 minutes, he could have prepared breakfast and be at work at exactly 9 a.m. Damn it. He had to skip breakfast. He could make it to lunchtime. It was still better than losing 3 important working minutes. Good morning, honey. Beatrice greeted him with a charming smile. But he was too angry to care. He frowned and nodded his head. She sighed and walked away. She knew how George was. She decided it was best not to say anything. I noticed that you took 3 more minutes to get out of shower, so I made you breakfast myself. Hearing that made him feel so ashamed of himself. For the first time that day, he looked at his wife. She wasn't smiling anymore. He shouldn't have behaved that way. But breakfast wouldn't bring those 3 minutes back. Breakfast wouldn't stop their constant fighting over everything. Things like having babies and pets and whatnot. All these fights were the reason that on the last night, George almost laid a hand on her, making her leave and never come back. Wait a minute. I took another look at the kitchen. There was no breakfast on the table. No Beatrice to walk towards me with a charming smile. How painful. Not again. George had to leave for work. That was more important than breakfast. He left the kitchen the way it was. Dim, cold, but most importantly, without the slightest mess. Damn it. Seemed like that was the line for that day. Everything was falling down like house of cards. Uber being out of service was another messed up thing that happened to him that day. Again, that was on Beatrice for taking the car. Now he had to take the bus to work, and now he was 7 minutes late. Good morning, everyone. He greeted his colleagues with a forced smile. Everyone were looking at him weirdly. What was going on? Did it look messy? Did he forget to zip his pants? No. He looked as neat as ever. What? Who moved my desk? Mr. Naselson? His boss's voice gave him the chills. Good morning, Mr. Rogers. Not that good of a morning, it seems. Why should I put up with someone who doesn't even work for me anymore on a Monday morning? I don't understand, Mr. Rogers. If you're upset about my untardiness, I can explain. What untardiness? What explanation? Are you kidding me? After that mess you made with Frank, how can you show your face here again? I couldn't hear him anymore. Frank. Mess. He's right. Frank, that son of a bitch. He was right. Frank. The reason why Beatrice left. October 17th. George needed access to the emails that Frank meant to send him, but forgot. And Frank didn't come to work that day for the most stupidest reason ever. Why should someone miss a day at work because their dog was sick? He turned on Frank's office computer to send those emails himself. Wait a minute. Why did Beatrice email Frank? What could possibly be going on between these two? Frank? Beatrice? How could they? He was a ticking time bomb set on a 24-hour timer. October 18th. He couldn't control his words. He couldn't control his actions. He didn't care about the mess he made on his desk, nor did he care about the fact that when he pushed Frank, his coffee spilled all over his freshly washed white shirt. The time bomb exploded and turned everything upside down. How can you show your face here again? All those memories hit him like a train. He didn't want to show it though. You are absolutely right, Mr. Rogers. In fact, I'm only here to apologize. I know it's too late, but I hope you can forgive me. Look, I don't have time for these things, and I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. Please leave without making a scene. Lost my mind, my wife, and my life. He was cursing Frank under his breath. He kept on walking without even knowing where he was going. Time didn't matter now that everything was a mirage. It was all on Frank. He ruined everything. He took over George's life like a tornado. Maybe he planned it. Yeah, that makes sense. He didn't even care that now it was 10 minutes past lunchtime, and he didn't even know how those 4 hours were spent. All that anger made him lose touch with reality. I pity everyone who's going through such thing. 4 more hours were spent with no reason or purpose. Looking at his watch made him want to cry. Panic took over him. He saw himself as standing in front of his own house. He had to do something. Time cannot pass like this. He had to sort things out. He had to sort out his mind. He started to walk again, but this time he knew where he wanted to go. The first thing I need to do is to work things out with Frank. He hated Frank more than everything in the world. But aggression doesn't sort anything out, it just messes things more. Just calm down, you've got this. 5 p.m. He was standing in front of the office, waiting for Frank to come out. Just talk to him without making any mess. But oh God, the hate he felt towards Frank was uncontrollable. You've got this. Just calm down. 11:30 p.m. He was standing in front of his house once more, smoking. He felt numb, completely numb. Nothing mattered to him. Nothing at all. It didn't matter that he didn't eat anything the whole day. It didn't matter that he was smoking with a dirty hand. It didn't matter that his freshly washed shirt was now covered in red dots and now was missing a few buttons. It didn't matter that his face was bruised and dirty. He just finished his cigarette and opened the door and walked into his clean house with his muddy shoes. He opened the refrigerator's door and took out the water bottle with his dirty hand and drank the whole bottle without using a glass and then left it on the counter. What are these bloodstains? What is this bottle doing on the counter? Why is it bloody? Everything is dirty. I'm dirty. That was when his muscle memory started to act on his behalf. He started to clean the house. Though he was starving, his mind wouldn't let him eat before the whole house was clean. So he took out all of his clothes and threw them into the washing machine and started to scrub everything he touched when he got home. When the cleaning was done, he started to cook. His memories were starting to come back to him in bits and pieces. He put the bowl on the stove and waited for the water to boil. His mind was still stuck in the bar behind the office. Not in the bar itself, exactly. In the alley behind it, where nobody walks out in one piece. Frank didn't even think a simple talk would lead to such violence. Maybe they shouldn't have drank that much. George didn't know that a broken beer bottle is sharper than a knife. Damn it! He burned his hand with the boiling water. That sharp burning sensation was enough to snap him back to reality. Automatically, he stopped thinking. He wasn't thinking about Frank anymore. He wasn't thinking about how he left him in that alley with eyes open wide. He wasn't thinking about all the blood that left Frank's body. He completely forgot about how he begged George to stop before he stabbed him 17 times in the chest and the abdomen. I woke up next morning with the sound of a loud banging on my door. I could hear the police sirens coming from outside. My hands were burned, so I had trouble opening the door. But I couldn't remember how it happened. The officer's words sounded funny to me. What did he mean that I'm under arrest for the murder of Frank Wills? Murder? Frank's dead? I didn't kill him. I haven't seen him after I got fired from work. But nobody listens to me. Just like nobody's listening to me right now. I'm not guilty. Everything is exactly how I told you. That is all. The courtroom drowned in silence. I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous. I was calmly waiting for the judge to give his verdict. But I could tell that my lawyer was nervous. The judge was finally ready to announce it. Guilty with the reason of insanity. I woke up with a sharp gasp. What? I'm not insane. How could he say that? This isn't real. None of this is real. This courtroom is inside my head. Maybe there isn't even any Frank to be murdered and a George to be a murderer. But I know one thing. I wasn't guilty. I wasn't insane. I wasn't real. This asylum is real. These files are real. My name is not George. My name is Andrew Gray. Okay. It was a dream. Let's look at the next patient's file. Oh my God. George Naselson, dissociative trance disorder. So, episode 5 from Insanity series. Did it confuse you? It was on purpose. Thank you all so much for watching so far, and just like every time, I'm gonna ask you to leave your thoughts in the comment section, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to my channel to be notified every time I put up a new video. Until next time, bye bye.